Hello, very good evening to you. Welcome to ITV News and it's Friday's calendar.
Thank you for joining us, and here are tonight's main stories.
In crisis, the vital mental health service at risk of closure in Doncaster after its funding runs out.
All of a sudden, somebody that's so essential hasn't got a job, and it's distressing.
Rob Burrow's father, Jeff, vows to continue his son's legacy as the Rhinos prepare for this weekend's game, raising awareness of motor neurone disease.
Every day somebody new will be, more than one person will be diagnosed with MND. So games like Saturday is important to show that they're not alone.
Plus, recognising the work of our animal allies, the donkeys helping people learn about the contribution of the military's silent partners during war.
And are you going to Scarborough Fair? We're at the street festival celebrating the town's creative spirit. Well, first tonight, a mental health charity in Doncaster is having to slash counselling for children and cut staff after the NHS money which pays for it ran out.
Open Minds has been operating for 18 years, providing support to children and adults who otherwise wouldn't be able to access counselling on the health service.
Now, staff and patients say they fear for the future of those in the city that have come to rely on the therapy they provide, as 13 counsellors are made redundant. Michael Billington has been to meet them.
That's more pink. You could choose that one.
Naina and Mira's mother says for the last few months, Open Minds has been an invaluable support for her two daughters.
I feel like I've got a closer connection with my children because of it.
But now these counselling sessions are coming to an end. Their last will be tomorrow, after the funding that pays for them ran out.
As a, mum at home, I haven't got an additional sort of 20, 30, 40 pound a week to pay for counselling services. So I know it's devastating to me because I know what but I also recognise there's people that there's kids that really need these services.
And I've got a purpose now. And
the charity says it supports those who've slipped through the cracks, adults and children who need help with their mental health, but whose conditions don't meet the threshold to qualify for NHS support. Now the limited health service funding they do get has run out. It means serious cuts to services.
We're lucky enough to have about 9 counsellors who are able to volunteer to continue with adults, but it's wiping out the whole children's counselling team, which is heartbreaking because that's hundreds of children every year who we won't be able to support.
Not seeing the difference that we make here happen anymore just feels like something's been ripped out of the community, because they're kids that without this sort of support may struggle into adulthood and end up in adult services, and we know that's also under pressure.
NHS South Yorkshire says the money it uses to commission services like Open Minds is time limited, and when it ran out in March this year, it could not extend this further. It insists it will continue to commission mental health services across the city.
Because I was so frustrated.
Ray, one of the patients here, recently helped to renovate a garage to use as a new space for counselling, offering his support to the charity, which supported him.
It's just got completed and the children aren't here to use it. Taken us a year and a bit to get this place done, and now the kids can't use it.
It's heartbreaking.
It is, yeah. It's sad and it's distressing.
Searches are continuing on a street in Scarborough after the sudden deaths of 2 men in neighbouring properties within a few days of each other.
There's been a police presence throughout the day on Gatesgarth Close as the investigation continues. Well, our reporter Fraser Maud joins us live from the scene now. And Fraser, just bring us up to date with what's been happening there today.
Yeah, good evening, Ian. Well, day 3 of this investigation, and still the police have given very few details other than the ages and the times of when these two men died, but crucially not how they died. The first death was reported last Wednesday, a 49-year-old man found dead in his home here on Gatesgarth Close, and then this Monday a 69-year-old man also found dead in his home, the adjoining property. As a result of that, those two properties and the two next to it have been sealed off. The cordon still remains in place there as police have continued their investigations. We've had ambulance crews on standby here as well as the forensics teams try and establish if there's any environmental hazard which has caused these two deaths. The police have issued a statement today. The latest statement says that the searches are continuing in the properties in Scarborough, and a police presence will remain at the scene over the weekend until all work at the properties has been completed. It goes on to say the investigation is continuing to establish the circumstances that led to the deaths and the cause. We've also heard from the Housing Association, which is responsible for the properties here, Beyond Housing. They've issued a statement which says this is a distressing time for all those affected and our thoughts remain with them. They go on to say we're grateful that the police are taking precautionary measures during their investigation. And with that in mind, the police in their statements have also said that at this time there is no suggestion that there's any risk to the wider community, and our inquiries so far have not led to any change in that position.
Thanks very much, Fraser. That's Fraser Maud live in Scarborough for us this evening. Well, next tonight, it's almost a year since rugby league legend Rob Burrow died from motor neurone disease after living with the condition for 4.5 years.
Tomorrow at the Rhinos game with Wakefield, his former club will continue his legacy by raising money and awareness of the condition.
And ahead of what's sure to be an emotional weekend for the Burrow family, Rob's dad, Jeff, has been speaking to our reporter, Arif Ahmed.
He was larger than life, despite being small. He always had his sense of humour, right till the end. You know, he was happy, and that's a memory we've got of him. And the day before he passed away, he smiled.
As the first anniversary of Rob Burrow's death approaches, his dad, Jeff, is still coming to terms with the loss of his son to motor neuron disease.
When he passed away, we were... Well, I don't know how I felt, you know. It was a strange feeling, you know. We were grieving, and yet there was we knew he wasn't in pain anymore. So we're glad he's not suffering that anymore, and he'll be saying to us, keep going.
This weekend, the Leeds Rhinos will pay their own tribute to Rob. Their game against Wakefield Trinity will see former teammates pay tribute to a friend they held close to their hearts.
Look, I miss him, specifically. I remember when we weren't going too great here, and I ended up going to Australia and played in the Gold Coast, and he was one of the first people that messaged me, which showed just a quality fella and great man that he was. And yeah, things like that, it's just a prime example that you'll always remember.
The Rhinos players will wear this special one-of-a-kind kit with the image of Rob on the front. It's made up of 200 names. 196 of them are former teammates that played with Rob during his 16-year career. The other 4 are of his wife Lindsay and their 3 children. £10 from every shirt will go to M&D charities, which have all helped contribute to the Rob Burrow M&D Centre, the first of its kind world-class facility in Leeds, which is nearing its autumn completion.
When we think about when we started this, very few people knew what M&D was, and now it's not a word to be hidden. You know, we have patients that feel proud to be out in the community talking to people about what it means. And yes, it's still a scary diagnosis, but it has made such a difference, and we couldn't do it without the rugby community.
As Jeff still comes to terms with the passing of his son, Rob's unique sense of humour gives him the courage to carry on.
Whenever I get upset, my wife says, Rob would be saying, get a grip, Dad. He would. He'd be saying, come on, you wimp, get a grip and fight on.
Is that what gives you the strength?
Yeah, yeah. Nothing else, Rob.
Jeff Burrow talking to Arif Ahmed, and of course we wish them all the very best. Now, let's have some more news from around the region. And a 48-year-old man from Leeds has appeared before Westminster magistrates today, charged with a terrorism offence following an operation by counter-terrorism policing North East and West Yorkshire Police. Martin Paul Gillard from Town Street in Armley is charged with possessing information of a kind likely to be useful to a person committing or preparing an act of terrorism. He was remanded in custody until the 20th of June when he'll appear at the Old Bailey.
Tributes have been paid following the death of Alan Jones, known to thousands as Wakefield's Chestnut Man. He ran a stall outside the city's cathedral for many years, selling chestnuts in the winter and sweets in the summer. His friends are now hoping to put up a permanent memorial.
He was a very much loved person in Wakefield. He was a character. You know, everybody knew him. You know, you heard him before you even saw him with his blasting his tunes out. You know, and he's been coming in the same place since 1983 in all weathers, and half of Wakefield will vouch for that.
Yeah, familiar sight in Wakefield. A major £300,000 clean-up operation to tackle litter and fly tipping in Rotherham has been given the green light. The council has set aside the huge cash investment in this year's budget to double the size of its clean-up team to remove the litter. They'll also maintain rural verges and main routes into the town and surrounding villages.
Well, still to come on the programme this evening. From post office scandal to Britain's Got Talent final, we catch up with the Hear Our Voice choir.
Yes, it was a mild and muggy start this morning, disappointingly cloudy for many parts of the region today. It's a warm finish to May tomorrow. All the detail a little later on.
Now, you often see people wearing red poppies to remember those who lost their lives during war, but have you ever seen purple ones?
The purple poppy commemorates the important roles played by animals during conflict.
And today, at a museum in Richmond, 3 donkeys have been helping people learn about the military's animal allies. We sent our reporter Natalie Higgins to find out more.
Meet Teddy, Maurice and Tom. The 3 donkeys teaching people about the important part animals played during the war. We often pay tribute to soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice. But today in Richmond, these donkeys are making sure we remember all those who risked their lives.
It's important for us to be able to illustrate to people that a museum like the Green Howard isn't just about guns and medals, it's about so much more. All these stories that maybe get missed in the history books. And if we can do days like this, because you can't resist, can you, once you see those ears and those eyes. So it's brilliant for everybody. People are learning.
We're talking about donkeys and animals that have been used in war, and obviously we're here to give educational talks to anybody who'd like to come along and learn a little bit more about how we look after the donkeys.
During World War I, it's estimated around 8 million horses, mules and donkeys lost their lives. They had vital roles like transporting supplies, wounded soldiers and even weapons, making them invaluable. But it was only in the last 20 years their service was recognised and the purple poppy was created.
I just think it's important that we remember what they did in the war as well as the soldiers, and realise what sacrifice they also made.
As people up and down the country celebrate 80 years since victory in Europe, today these children are learning why it's important that all those who took part are remembered. Natalie Higgins, ITV News, Richmond.
The ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Lucrezia Millarini.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, the latest from Liverpool as the suspect charged over Monday's parade crash appears in court. Why more pet owners say they are struggling to hold their vet to account, and after campaigning for justice, the Post Office choir now singing for Britain's Got Talent glory in the final. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Thanks, Lucrezia. We will. And of course, speaking of Britain's Got Talent, among the members of the Hear Our Voice choir is Maria Lockwood from West Yorkshire.
Our reporter James Webster caught up with her at rehearsals for tomorrow night's grand final.
We are a choir made up by people that were directly affected from the Post Office scandal.
From the moment they stepped on stage,
we wanted to put something together that gave us some joy.
The audience has been behind this very special choir.
was a gorgeous performance, beautifully arranged.
The power in numbers and the unity, and you should be so proud of yourselves. It was wonderful, well done.
Singers come from all over the country, among them Maria Lockwood from Huddersfield.
This is pulls apart from what I normally do. It's, yeah, I mean, when I were at school, I used to do a bit of Amdram, bit of musicals and stuff, but yeah, nothing of this scale. And this has just been something really happy for everyone, and it's just made everyone bond a little bit more, and it's been really, really good.
Viewers have been reminded how the post office workers have been subjected to the most widespread miscarriage of justice in UK history. Hard-working postmasters and postmistresses prosecuted for theft, fraud and false accounting when it was their IT software that was to blame.
It's hear our voice.
They've been preparing for the live shows while some are still waiting for their money back.
The ordeal, the injustice you're being subjected to is unimaginable.
I really hope that this performance reminds people that there are still thousands of people out there who need justice.
Here we go. The winner of tonight's semi-final is...
And that semi-final win makes them one of the 10 finalists in tomorrow night's show.
We needed something which was an escape, something that keeps it in the public eye. It also drives awareness of the charities that support the sub-postmasters and their kids, and also is to create that therapeutic positivity for the group. That's one of the most satisfying things, to see the happiness that's come out of this.
Just give me your hand and I'll hold.
Singing has brought these postal workers together in a new way and has once again made sure their ongoing campaign has captured the public's attention. James Webster, ITV News.
And of course, we wish the best of luck to them, but also to Stacey Leadbeater, the singer from Birstall. She was a Golden Buzzer winner in her audition, and then the viewers voted her in tomorrow night's final. Fingers crossed for all of our Yorkshire competitors.
And it's congratulations to a West Yorkshire woman who's completed the Everest Marathon despite having terminal breast cancer. Well, we spoke to Dr. Shauna Burke before she set off to Nepal to take part in what's known as the highest marathon in the world. She says it was an unforgettable experience which proves that life doesn't stop when you get an incurable diagnosis. And the Leeds University professor also raised over £10,000 for Macmillan, which is brilliant. Dame Judi Dench has joined the celebrations after a 20-acre site of natural interest has been saved following a public campaign. Over £275,000 has been raised to buy Townend Field in Great Ousebourne. The Upper Ouse Conservation Trust plans to transform it into a wildlife sanctuary and an educational resource for local school children. One of the new footpaths will be named Judy's Walk.
I'm very, very pleased, and I shall be raising several glasses of champagne to you all. I'm very glad and I'm very proud to have been a tiny little part of saving it.
Oh, fantastic. And I might join Judy in a little glass of champagne. What do you think, Vic?
Oh, that sounds perfect, especially on a Friday night.
Yeah, but you're on late, so you better not.
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, Keza, welcome to the weekend.
Hello, yeah, we're there, aren't we? It's just, it's within reach. We didn't do too badly today, did we? I like Trish Morris's very short, snappy summary of today. Warm and breezy, brighter later. Yes, it was a really warm start this morning. I mentioned yesterday it was going to be on the mild and humid side. I was going for some 15s, and yeah, that's what we got. Rye Hill in West Yorkshire didn't drop below 15.5 Celsius overnight last night, which means it reached much higher than that for much of the night. That was its absolute low. And as we head through into the weekend, we're expecting it to be warm and humid humid as well tomorrow, fresh on Sunday. Of course, the forecast is coming up. But just had a little look at the stats because, of course, tomorrow is the end of May. And we seem to sort of ignore the temperatures. I think we're really getting used to warmer than average temperatures, and we're acclimatising to our new warmer world, because this is the mean maximum temperature. So the daytime temperatures over the whole of spring, and almost all of our counties are at their warmest. Of course, I'll have more details later on. Now, tomorrow is the end of May. Have you done a no-mow May?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kerry, you're not going to like this, but I have mowed. I have mowed a lot.
I think it's probably because it's been so lovely, hasn't it? It's been so warm and dry that people sort of think it's sort of a little bit later on in the season. And it's also been good for hay fever season if you've been mowing, because, of course, the no-mow May keeps that pollen around, or increases the pollen. But a big 5 gold stars to Barry Craven of East Yorkshire, because this is his back garden and it looks like the most beautiful spring meadow. Now, before I go, I don't know if you remember Peter Garrity of Sheffield, who had a pair of barn owls in his back garden who'd laid 3 eggs. Well, we've got an update. Look at the squirrel. It's after the eggs, and there's absolutely no chance, because Lily the barn owl has been keeping extra special care of the 3 eggs that have hatched. 2 of them here, little cuties, and she's been saying absolutely no way, Mr. Squirrel, you are not getting anywhere near my babies. There you go.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Kerry.
She's a good mum. Well, finally, are you going to Scarborough Fair? Oh, I'll stop singing. It is, of course, an event immortalised by the famous folk song, and its modern incarnation aims to inspire and celebrate creativity in the town.
Well, over the next 3 days, the Scarborough Streets Festival is hosting dozens of acts, from choirs to magic shows, with plenty of activities for visitors to get involved with too. So Sarah Clark went along to find out more.
Bringing the arts and creativity to the streets of Scarborough. 30 local and international acts and workshops.
It's fantastic to get all the community together and just have a bit of fun.
Yes, in these times I think it's important to have a little bit of lightness and fun brought to the streets.
So happy to be part of it. It's great to get out and get people involved in urban sketching and being creative, whether it's a stick man or whether it's a Mona Lisa, just getting out there and really having a go.
And with it being a free event running 3 days, those here think it's a class act.
Was that the best bit? And how are the grandparents enjoying it?
Very, very good. We are Scarboroughians and we just think it's brilliant, because everything normally costs so much to take the children and grandchildren, and this costs you nothing.
I think it's great to have more activity in the high street, bring the high street alive.
It was great to see not only the kids but the parents joining in, and it was so much fun seeing all the colours on the pavement as well, and all the creativity.
The festival is part of Scarborough Fair's summer season, with 260 events in over 70 locations until August.
The Scarborough Fair hasn't happened for 230 years until a few years ago. And so what we're doing is we're reimagining what the Scarborough Fair could and would be for modern times, as a celebration, a place of welcome, and a showcase, I suppose.
Around 10,000 visitors are expected to attend the festival, which runs until Sunday. Sarah Clark, ITV News in Scarborough.
Well, it's nice to see the fair back and lots of talent on display. And what a great way for the children to end their school holidays.
I know, it's lovely. Actually, talking of talent, we've got a couple of minutes spare, so I wonder if you might just sing us another song.
Absolutely. No, nobody needs to hear that.
All right, let's have the weather instead.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, the weekend is just around the corner and it's definitely not cold. We started off very mild this morning, but really quite cloudy. Some stubborn cloud for much of the day, but definitely a bit more in the way of blue sky tomorrow. A mix for Saturday and Sunday of sunshine and showers. We stay on the humid side as we head into tomorrow. It will feel fresher by Sunday. This has been the stubborn front that's been across many parts of the region today, producing that cloud. But either side, we have seen it break and thin a little bit, producing some sunshine for later afternoon, early evening. Still the risk of a few showers over the next few hours. In fact, the best of the weather conditions probably coming through the middle part of the night, where it will be dry and clear with light winds for many. Despite that, we're still in the humid air and most of us staying in double figures. Just a little bit of low cloud and that humidity returning over the Yorkshire Dales and right over the tops of the Pennines by the time we reach tomorrow. So again, a pretty warm start as we head into the weekend. 4:43 and 9:25 are your sun times. Good dose of sunshine for tomorrow morning. By around 11, we start to see a few showers developing. They could be on the heavy, possibly thundery side, and they'll move their way eastwards around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's after 3 that we start to see that sunshine reforming across all parts for late afternoon, early evening. So a settled end to the day, but check out the temperatures in the sunshine despite the breeze. 24, possibly 25 Celsius with a high UV sunburn risk. As we head into Sunday, an area of low pressure will bring fronts from west to east. So again, sunny spells, decent sunny spells, but also the risk of some showers, and it will feel fresher. Highs down by a good few degrees. Make the most of it if you can. Not too bad on Monday and settled into Tuesday.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather. Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
As we move into the new season and the new month, the pollen counts, mainly grass, are going to start to rise. So expect those numbers to rise over the coming few days to moderate, possibly high in the south by Monday.
Well, it's been a brilliant week. I've really enjoyed accompanying you, Ian. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we've enjoyed, haven't we, Kerry?
We have very much indeed. Well done, you.
Yeah, well done, Victoria.
Oh, thank you. Be back for the late news at 10:30 tonight.
Yeah, have a great weekend and we'll see you again next week. Good night.
Bye.